guys? Welcome to another episode of The Shifter Show, brought to you by Elite Mototech. Elite Mototech's easy pull levers are hands down the best levers in the world. 30% easier pull. Use code SHIFTERCREW at checkout. Also, super excited to announce our new partnership with Law Tigers. If you or somebody you know has been hurt or injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Look at that. Right on the dot.
Smooth. I like it.
I'm getting better.
Yeah.
It's a little, I don't like doing like the pre-recorded stuff. I've talked about it all the time, but
Plus, you're only rolling 2 out, you know? You can still, like...
Yeah, you know?
Like it.
Yeah, like, it's not like I need to say 15. Like, you go out, you get listen to Jason's podcast, he's got a lot of sponsors. Like, he's got a lot more to say, you know?
I listened to some... Do you ever use comedy at all? Like, stand-up and stuff?
Like as much as your average guy. I enjoy it. Like, a new special comes out, yeah, I'm going to watch it.
There's a cool show, Kill Tony.
Dude, okay,
yeah,
yes,
you watch
yes,
it? Okay.
yes.
I love it. Those guys have a ton of sponsors, but, like, when they're, like, in the middle of someone's set or critiquing someone, and... By the way, like VPN or just like sneak it in, like it's like
Yes.
artful, you know?
Dude, it's Tony Hinchcliffe, right?
Yeah.
Dude, his roast of Tom Brady.
Pretty epic.
Oh my God. Like that dude went down the line and just blasted everyone. Like
Oh, hell Nas on it? That was like
Hell
one of my
Nas.
favorites. That was really good.
Dude, that was golden.
Yeah, I'm a fan. We haven't missed an episode of Kill Tony in the last like 3 years.
Really? And isn't it like live?
Yeah. Well, they don't. I think they air like 3 weeks. There's like a 3-week delay.
Okay.
But they record it live.
They record it live. Yeah, yeah. That's pretty tight. And so
I'm a fan.
a little bit of backtrack. This is Gabriel.
Oh yeah.
Like people are gonna be like, wait, who are we talking to?
Yeah,
right
who
now?
is this dude?
Yeah. So Gabe works for Law Tigers. Kind of a funny backstory and like how you and I became buddies.
Yeah.
Because I always talked the most crap about like the Law Tigers, the Russ Brown, the whoever, and I always like never. And I used to give Dustin such a hard time all the time. Like I'd see him at events, I'd be like, oh well, all right guys, I'm here with Law Tigers. I mean LFG, sorry, because it's because the co-branding and everything. And he'd been telling me forever, like, you need to talk with Gabe. You need to talk to him. I was like, yeah, we'll see. Kind of put it off for a while. And then we did.
Yeah.
Like,
and then fast forward and
here we are, dude.
dude, it's exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something inherently uncool about this. I'm totally aware. And at times, a little self-conscious about it, but it's not. It's what got me to the party.
Yeah.
You know, literally, this gig changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't say that lightly.
Right.
I'm super grateful, dude, and it'll be 3 years at the end of the month, and
Okay.
it's been fucking rad.
And so you're, I don't know what your title is exactly.
Marketing manager for San Diego.
Gotcha. Okay. I was like, I don't know. Yeah. But to me, you're one of the homies now. Like now me and you are actually friends. So it's kind of funny because like you're like, oh yeah, and Gabe also works for Law Tigers, and then I work for fucking whatever it is I work for now. But you're the one that kind of like you're the ringleader of our little circus we got going on down here right now. If that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I'm flattered. I mean, it's kind of become that in a way. And honestly, dude, it's been hard not to just develop friendships with the people that I've been working with.
Yeah.
And I'm getting better at like, how do you draw the line? And it's because it's business at the end of the day, you know, what kind of brought us together. But the opportunities for each other are like wide open. You know? So,
and it's easy to be in business together if everybody's kind of like trying to accomplish the same goal. And we all have different tools, and we all have different assets, and we all have different followings, and we all appeal to different people.
Exactly.
And there's different skills that each of these guys have.
The resources, dude, it's all.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily like, it doesn't really feel like business half the time when we're doing some of this. Like yesterday, we sat in the meeting because now, and I definitely haven't announced this on the podcast, but now I'm the marketing director for Cornell Beach Harley Davidson, which is insanity.
That's another cool story.
That's another cool story, and that's all because of you, dude.
Yeah.
So,
well, sort of. You did it. It's like.
I mean, you
connected the dots.
You made the introduction.
Yeah.
So, but like last night, it was funny because we're sitting downstairs, and you got Jose, who's the GM here. Ocho was down there. Arthur was down there. Like
Makano
was down there. Like big sales dog, big guy wise group. Like you were here. Dustin was randomly here, which was kind of funny.
Shout out to Dustin.
Shout out to Dustin. But you look around, it's like, all right, well, these are just homies, but we all are also in business together, you know?
Right.
And then there's certain things that are like kind of your specialty, or kind of this is something that I need to make sure I know about, you know, and you'll look up and reference like, hey, how are we at with this? Cool. Plan? Sweet. Let's roll, you know?
And they get easier. We just get better at it, dude. More efficient. It's like, sat down, okay, door shut. All right, here's the
100%.
Here's the map. Here's the list. Like, go down the list. What's what? Like, okay.
And we
got a plan.
The longer you're in business together and the longer it's successful, the easier it gets. We've had so far, I moved down here You and I probably got together in. It was after
like
Arizona
early
Bike
spring
Week.
or something.
Yeah, it was after Arizona Bike Week for sure. After Live Fast.
Mm-hmm.
It was after Live Fast because I think it was shortly after Live Fast. Like end of
When
June. I think it was end of June, early July because Sturgis was early August.
It was, what was that show at San Diego Harley? Was it like a...
Was that the Brawl?
It was the Brawl.
The Brawl. Yep. That was when, because I met you at Biltwell in January. And then I saw you at Live Fast and you had the custom, is it the Angels bike?
Yeah, the Halo fan bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bike.
That's right. We brought it up there.
Yep. And then I saw you at Live Fast, like, hey, what's up? Like, we kind of talked for a little bit, chopped it up. And then, it was at the Brawl that we were like, oh, yeah, let's get together. Let's grab food.
Let's go grab some lunch.
Yeah. And then, like, a week later, I was like, yeah, we're going to be working together with the podcast and all this kind of stuff. And then literally, like, maybe a week later, you hit me up and you're like, so, what's up, dude? We got a meeting. Like, Bill's going to be there. Ryan Cruz is going to be there. Ryan from Bamco is going to be there. And I'm like, what's going on right now?
Like, the Sturgis one?
Yeah. And you're like, we're planning Sturgis. And I'm like, you want me to be in the conversation? And you're like, I think you should probably be involved.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this feels big. And it was, dude.
That was awesome, dude. The Thunderdome thing, I mean.
They got a freaking golden ticket right there, dude. That is.
And it really came together like in a matter, like that first meeting you were on.
Like 45 days.
Yeah. Like
that first meeting was kind of the one, wasn't it? Because
prior to that, dude, honestly, Bill was like, hey, we got this kind of came across my desk type thing. It's like the family's taking it over again and they want our help to like get vendors. That was initially like the pitch, the opportunity. And like, I was like, wait, what? Like the Thunderdome, like kind of started learning about it. It's like, oh, dude, this is the next thing. Like, boom, throw down at the Thunder, and everyone like we had that initial meeting, and like, we kind of all threw it out there, and Cruzy jumps on it a little late. And it's like,
dude, that was funny
because just sealed the deal.
It was on a different time zone because Arizona doesn't do daylight savings.
Right.
So it was funny because Cruzy dialed in exactly correctly to the minute to the time that he was supposed to be there,
but an hour late.
In his time zone because everybody else is doing their own weird flip-flop thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? And then that was just like a stamp on the end. Like,
because we had already kind of warmed up the room, so to speak. And he's like, just like hammered it home,
Yep. He's like, cool. Sounds good. Let's show up and go. And that was, dude, that location, man.
Dude, it's
going to be
prime.
It's going to be the future.
I think so. I really hope so, dude. I mean, like, the family owns it. Like, I mean, between William and
Jamie.
I think they saw what happened. There's enough time has gone by to we're kind of digested and start looking forward to 25.
Yep, and they've got a really good. I don't know if I can announce who it is, but they've got a really good event coordinator planner.
That'll help, dude.
Then I think he's gonna make. I don't think he wants me to announce it, so I'm not gonna.
It'll come up.
He's gonna be great at it. Like it's going to. Just running around, like that dude has some pretty good ideas. He's got a successful business. He knows what he's doing, and I think he's going to streamline a lot of the stuff that's happening there this year. Yeah, and it that needs to happen. Yes,
I mean we put it together, we made it work, but there was like everyone there that was a part of it had notes, right? Yep. So all of that needs to be taken into account, and like we got to start planning. I mean, I don't know at this point. I don't know how much I'll be involved in planning much. I would love to. Still kind of check things out. It's like, hey guys,
try to get there for a little bit of fun.
Like our operation in Sturgis is kind of cemented into what it is, and I'm hoping we can kind of still, at least, contribute to or like do something to help that thing grow.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, like with Cruzy Originals, those guys being out there, him and Trent and all those dudes, like they put on something pretty cool. Senders was out there, like. Watching Joey and Foley those dudes are just rad as gets, dude. And then like kind of what Dustin's working on, what I'm trying to do with Dan with these trophies, Bamco being there. That's the kind of a younger generation, and that's kind of hopefully we can appeal to those guys and bring them in a little bit.
I think so, dude. And with that planting the seed, last summer, like the progression, because it's not like, that happened. Oh, we'll see you in 25. Like everything that happens. Like on the side planning for it and like on our own, like in our own lane, so to speak, like that'll contribute to this thing,
It's only up from here, dude.
Yeah.
That was planned. That was kind of thrown together in like 45 days. And we all just basically showed up.
Yeah.
is really what happened. Speaking of which, for the city of Sturgis, I paid my taxes. And it was $500. I'm supposed to be getting that back. And it's October. So I haven't forgotten. I just want you guys to know.
I don't even know, dude. Like, I know, like, the city was showing up. Let me see your permit. And
oh,
like,
yeah.
It was serious about this.
It wasn't a joke.
No.
It was very serious, which I get it 100%. Like, that city makes a lot of money during that couple of weeks. But it was a unique thing. It was just a larger scale thing than anything I'd ever been a part of.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had to pay a $500 tax deposit before you even got there. And then they hold on to that, and then you pay your taxes at the end, and then they're supposed to send you that check back.
Huh.
So, still waiting on it.
Is there like a 1-800 you can call?
I don't know. I'm about to call 1-800-STURGIS and figure this out, dude. Like,
hello? Where's my money?
Hello? Give me my money. But no, it just, to me, I was like, man, this feels like the big leagues. Like, this is like...
Dude, it was cool. And like I mentioned earlier, like, we have our own set of, like, the role, like the program over there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was tough, like, not wanting, just, all right, just got to get this task done and, like, finish the day and like, zip over there to see how things are moving along. And once we were done, I didn't even want to go ride. I just wanted to hang out there, dude.
That was kind of, some of the appeasement of that place to me was they've got a full setup, like, bar, couple bars in there. Then they have the mezzanine, which is out by the road. It's 3 stories tall.
Yeah.
They have multiple bars on that. Then they have a stunt lot. Then you have the slow race area. Then you have vendor alley. You didn't really need to go anywhere. And then on location, they had campsites and they had, they didn't have campsites. They had hookups for trailers.
Right.
And then they had cabins. So, like, I didn't need to go anywhere.
Iron horses across the street, like, full throttles down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Going into town, it's like a 15, 20-minute ride. It's not.
Oh, into downtown? 5 minutes.
Yeah, not even, huh? I guess once rally kicks off and the speed limits kind of go down, and
it's right
put both
there,
feet
though.
down when you come to a stop.
Yeah,
And that type of
the
thing.
big thing is just how many vehicles are in that mile from you to downtown.
It's gnarly, dude. It's gnarly.
Wild. Did you get to do any running around while you were out there?
Not so much. Not this year. This was my second year, and last year we did ride a bunch more.
Yeah.
It rained a lot more.
Yeah.
But
that was one of the things I learned, like, because we were staying on location. It wasn't like I had to get up and drive or ride anywhere to get to my booth.
Yeah.
Like, I could wake up at 9, go mess around for a while.
Yeah.
Come back, be there by 2. That's when folks were starting to come back from the rides anyway. So that's kind of when you wanted to be there.
Yeah.
So I did set up, I think I was set up for like 11 days, and I took 3 days to myself on the back end. And just went and saw
It quiets
Rushmore.
down, dude. That first weekend is probably the big bang, and then it just kind of like throughout the weekend mellows out. And I think that last weekend it like comes up again a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, like at the Thunderdome, starting early in the morning, like the breakfast and all that stuff, I don't know that really brought any people in for you guys as vendors.
No,
dude, we don't need to be planning games or anything like until like 3 o'clock. You know, seriously.
No, they were 100% spot on with that. Like, it was a cool experience though, man.
That was
like,
rad.
That was a totally new thing for me. It was such a larger scale. Like, it just felt like the Super Bowl.
And you rode out.
Yeah, that was cool, man. I'm really glad I did that.
Yeah.
It was sketchy. It was long, but I'm glad I did it. I went up to Modesto, judged the fishtail show up there, and then blasted
Shout out to
from
Michael
there.
Mendoza.
Yeah, shout out to Michael. That guy's got a cool thing going too.
Yeah, dude.
We're
gonna be working with him next year.
Right on.
I'm excited.
All right. But yeah, so then shout out from Modesto, made it to Salt Lake City that night, met up with Jay from Whiskey Dicks. We stayed at a friend of his house. She was super sweet. That was awesome. And then I got up at like 5:30 or 6 the next morning and layered up and was getting ready to go. And Dustin called me and was like, I was literally starting the bike, probably 6:30. And Dustin's like, don't you leave yet. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, it's 29 degrees in the canyon right now. And I was like, okay, well, I'll go get breakfast. So like, I think I ended up getting on the road around 8:30.
That's cool.
But yeah, and then blasted all the way out. The state of Wyoming is absolutely terrible. I wouldn't recommend anybody ride there. But South Dakota's cool.
It's just straight.
It's just
straight and
dude.
like you deal with like the gnarliest weather too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then so that was cool. It was kind of funny, like not having a vehicle out there. Like I had my bike.
Yeah.
But I was so tired of my bike. Like by the time I got home from Sturgis, I didn't want to ride anymore. I was like, we could sell it.
I get it.
Like, I don't know if I've told that story about like the ride back from Sturgis. Have I told you about that?
I don't know. Maybe bits and pieces, but
Dude, I woke up that morning and I was like, all right, 1K in a day is going to put me just shy of Vegas. Like, let's do it. This is the day to do a 1K in a day.
yeah.
I hop on the bike. It was really cold and I did not feel good that last morning. Like, I literally felt sick. So I slept in a couple hours later than I should have. I probably didn't get on the road till like 9. And I was like, I might have just screwed this up. Because what I've understood is like, you want to wake up so early and start the ride that you have time to take a nap and then finish the ride. It's like what some people have actually told me. But so I got on the road late. I'm riding through Wyoming in the hottest part of the day, and I hated it. And I got on whatever it is, the 40 or the 80. What cuts through?
I don't remember.
Whatever big interstate that is.
Yeah.
People are going to be like, oh, it's no.
Right.
Okay, great. I get on that road, and it's some of the worst wind I've ever been. Like, it's not some of it. It's the worst wind I've ever rode in. And now I feel like I've been riding long enough that I can say that and it should mean something.
Right.
But literally, like, we throw around the terms like you're getting blown from one side of the road to the other. I mean, I'm all the way in the far left lane, like 2-lane interstate, leaning into and the wind is pushing me onto the right shoulder. Like, it was so bad that I literally thought maybe I should pull over, like, on the shoulder.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I don't know if I can hold the bike up.
Right.
Like, if I slow
Unless
down.
you have that force.
Yeah,
you know,
like, I feel like that's holding the bike up at this point.
Yeah.
And at one point, there's this field off the left-hand side. So I'm on the right going westbound. And this field had burned up and was just all ash. And that wind was coming across, dude. The ash that was getting thrown over the road. Like, I could see it like 2 miles away. And I was like, there's no exit between me and there. Like,
we're doing this.
do I want to ride into this? This is bad. It looked like you were riding into like the apocalypse, dude. Like, it was terrifying. And rode into it, and it was okay. But like, there was probably like 4 or 5 minutes that ride that I was like scared. I was like, I don't want to be here at all. And then, so I get through some of that, and it did calm down. And then eventually, I did roll up on like a tractor trailer had caught on fire, and it had really caught on fire. Like, huge. That whole thing was engulfed in flames. And I remember just seeing the dude that, like, the operator of the truck, was probably like 40 yards in front of it, just
like, what does he do?
Staring at it, like, oh my God. So by the time I was like getting out of Wyoming, and I was like, I don't know, maybe 500 miles, 600 miles in. I was like, I'm not doing this. Yeah. I'm done. I don't want any part of this. And then I got into Utah, and I was like, oh wait, I can do this. Yeah. This is fine. Kept looking at the map, and you knew Becca, right?
Yeah.
She passed away. Becca Taylor. But I started looking at the map, and I was trying to figure out exactly where it was going to stop me, and it was going to be just past Mesquite, Nevada. And that kind of got in my head a little bit.
Yeah,
that kind of freaked me out because
pretty fresh too.
Yeah, that's where she passed away. Doing a 1K in a day from Deadwood. So I was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And then I was like, no, she'd want you to do this. Like, absolutely do this. So I got into that mindset, and I ended up getting past Salt Lake, getting way into Utah. I think I was coming up on St. George or something.
You like basically rode across it.
Yeah. And I started getting rained on pretty good. It was like 11:30 at night, and I started getting rained on pretty good.
You had rain gear?
I didn't.
Sort of.
No, I don't think I did. Like, I think I'll like ride around in like some military issue jacket and be like, yeah, it's good enough. Like, but I started getting hailed on too, and then I looked at it and I was like,
a little different.
We're done here.
Yeah.
You know, like started getting rained on. It got really bad. I turned my brights on. It wasn't getting any better. I was like, this is really, really bad.
Yeah.
Then it started hurting. I looked in my lap, and there was like hail pulling up, and I was like, okay. So I made it 880 miles that day before I got hailed on. So I missed the 1K, but I was all right. Because then the next day I did stop at the sign where Becca took that picture. Mm-hmm. So that was spend some time there and kind of hung out, and then blasted home from there, and then made that freaking trek across the Mojave, dude. Oh my God, that was hot.
I bet,
like,
dude.
Whatever. What's that town that has like the largest thermostat in the world or whatever it is? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. It's in California. It's in Nevada. All right, still, right?
It's in California. Is it? Doug probably knows.
It's like Barstow.
Is it Barstow with the largest thermostat in the world? I think it's Barstow. People are gonna. If I got that wrong, people are gonna crucify me.
We'll find out.
Yeah, it's one of those. Later. Yeah. I think it's Barstow. But yeah, dude, riding through there, I was like, oh my God, being gone for 2 weeks. I got off the bike and I was like, cool.
Just park it there for a few days.
It can just live here now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun. Sturgis was a good time.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Can't believe it's been, what, like almost 4 months?
Yeah, it's almost November, dude.
Yeah.
We're already halfway through October. This is insane. Doesn't even make
It's
sense.
flying by.
It is. It really is.
But it's cool, though, man, because, I mean, we're coming to the end of the year, and, like, you know, there's cycles there to close, especially with the role, you know, and budgets and, like, looking forward and start, or what's our strategy for 25. And, like, you know, I know the West Coast Classic is going to become more, there's still a lot there, you know, and
A lot of meat on that bone.
exactly, dude. So, I mean, having things like that to look forward to and just get stoked and really work towards, that's what does it for me in this role, man.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was saying earlier that it's changed my life, like I hadn't had a job or where I didn't, you know, over here I don't have to just run the play, you know, I get to spice it up a little bit, dude.
That's kind of something I've noticed about you that I think is rad is you're not, obviously there's a playbook, right?
Yeah.
And there's things that you have to do and you take that very serious, but you're also willing to explore new options in marketing. And that's something that kind of excites me, you know, like there's a standard way of things that have always happened. And you're like, we need to do that as well.
Yeah.
But let me try this alternative method at the same time and see if it works. And that's what's kind of gotten me on board.
Yeah. Well, it's just more exciting that way, you know, dude? Yeah. And I mean, we've talked about like the old and the new kind of thing. And like, I know we're kind of on the same, at least the idea and what that, because it's pretty vague, but it's like, there's certain rigidity with like the old ways or how it's been done, but like just to reference the Thunderdome again, like that's new. That's why that was so exciting.
Right.
And there's so much potential there, and just kind of looking at things in that, like, well, that's how it's been done thus far. What if we tried this? That's I don't know. That's what just keeps it exciting.
Just keeps it exciting. Yeah.
And challenging too, dude. Honestly, I mean,
Yeah, I don't envy you on a lot of the stuff that you have to do. You bring together
I
groups
don't
of
ever meet
people.
him sometimes, dude. It's just like there's just a lot of it's
I thought you were gonna say it's a lot of tequila,
it's a lot to keep up with. Is what I would say.
followed by a lot of tequila.
Nah, dude, I can't.
And then, so getting into you a little bit, I didn't realize that you lived in Mexico for a while, right? Like
I
in your
grew up in
childhood?
Mexico.
Did you? Tell us about that a little bit.
So I was born up here in La Jolla Scripps, 1988, July 3rd. My grandfather on my mom's side had a business, footwear business up here, SoCal-based, sandals, like surfer type deal. And that's why I was born up here. My grandfather got sick. My parents had been dating, I don't know, maybe like 6 months or something. My mom had to jet. My pop's like, well, I'll go with you. And kind of got into the business. He got a little better, and they kind of started a life up here. And then the patriarch passed, and that business kind of went to shit, you know, kind of how it does. And a lot of times between families, once like the main dude passes or whatever.
Yeah, it was his thing, kind
It
of.
was his thing. And once it came time to my mom and her siblings and everyone else, all the vultures that were kind of there just waiting for that, you know, it just bummer. But that's why we were born up here, and we had like a flag up here. But I grew up in Mexico. My mom's family and my dad's family are from Guadalajara, Jalisco.
Okay.
So we moved down there when I was 2.
Okay.
And then I didn't move up to the States until it was like 2003. Would have been like 14,
Yeah.
15 or something.
Yeah. So you were like almost in high school or in high school.
Yeah, and one of my aunts lived up here the whole time, so we'd
you
go
coming
back and forth
all the
like
time?
summers. And
Yeah. Was it like culture shock moving over here though? Or not really, because you'd been up
It
here.
was. It definitely was, dude.
I feel like
'cause
going to school or something, you know?
Well, so my parents split up, and then my dad came up here to. He's a musician, so he like came up here. I got to pursue this thing, you know. And so he moved up here like in 99, 2000. Then my brother came up here, and then I was like in middle school and just being a shithead. And my mom's like, "Dude, I can't do this. You got to go with your dad." So that's how I ended up here. So those first few years were rough because, you know, teenager with all the teenager shit one deals with, and like, I don't want to be here. I want to go back and be with my friends and that type of
She
stuff.
sent you up to live with dad.
Yeah, exactly. So I finished, I got here like in October of my freshman year, and finished the year, and it's like, I don't want to be here. I want to move back. I'll be good kind of thing. And it went back down, and then it's like a few months into it, I had like discovered marijuana, and it's like, oh, dude, weed, you know, and like, you're going back to your dad's, dude. Like, it didn't work out, but So I got a job as soon as I could, and just like every break from school, I like save money and just go down, hang out, and finish high school. And that was like after high school, like into my early 20s, it was just kind of hang out and.
Were you just trying to get back
bounce
there
around.
all the time?
I did. Yeah, I went back as soon as I graduated. Like I moved down, did a little time. Some of my homies had like, we're going to Vancouver. Let's go live in Vancouver for a while. So we spent like 8 months out there, just like working and like
Vancouver,
out of the house.
Washington?
No, in Canada.
Whoa, okay.
British Columbia.
Okay.
That was cool, dude.
Yeah,
Canada's fucking sick.
Dude. How did that? He was literally just like, oh, let's go.
I had a buddy who had gone, and you know, you kind of just go and like find work and like just kind of survive early 20s, like straight out of high, you know, just adventure, really.
Yeah. It was funny because we were like getting lunch or something one day and you start speaking Spanish on your phone. And I was like,
wait, what?
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
And you're this is not me making fun of you. But when you speak Spanish, your voice gets like
it changes
way deeper. And I was like,
sí,
I had to like,
viva Mexico. A huevo puto. Yeah,
it was weird. Like, but I had to like double take. I was like, what's going on here? Like, oh yeah, I grew up in Mexico. I was like, oh,
yeah,
I had no idea.
yeah, dude.
But so graduate high school, you're kind of bouncing back and forth. You're just going down there every chance you can.
Yep.
And then when your buddies was like, hey, let's go to Vancouver.
We went to Vancouver. No, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I spent like 8 months out there.
What were you doing up there?
We got a job for a demo company.
You're just tearing down houses.
Yeah, tearing shit down. Really, we were kind of like cleaning up. Like we were like lowest at the totem pole kind of thing, you know? Did that for a while. Got fired for being late, you know.
How old were you?
Like 20, 21.
That's a part of it, dude.
Of course, dude.
Yeah, that's just a part
It's
of
like
it.
getting out of the house. It was like when I got out of my parents' house, you know,
Yeah.
just like kind of see what's
what's
what.
out there. Let's go find out.
Exactly.
You know, we'll fuck around and find out.
And then worked at a dog groomer place and just like
That was back down here.
no, still up there.
Oh,
and then,
okay.
And then you know, enough is enough. Had to bail, come back down. It wasn't really doing much, and so came back. I spent some time with my mom. My mom at the time was living in Mexicali.
Okay.
Went over there, worked for like a call center, which was weird. And then that didn't last. I went back to Guadalajara, spent some time over
Were you
there.
just sitting in like a cubicle, like dialing?
It was like almost 3 to 4 weeks of the training. The call center had the campaign I worked at was like tech support for AT&T, like internet at the time. So it's like, you know, all this training, and then all right, go take some calls now. And it's like, I can't connect to the internet. All right, well, try rebooting your modem and like, you know, just try to troubleshoot over the phone, which is something that didn't last either. You know, went back to Guadalajara, spent some time over there, worked like at a skate shop and like restaurants. I got into the restaurants.
Okay.
And then we moved to Playa del Carmen, Cancun area.
Okay.
Did restaurants over there, hung out.
Just bouncing around.
Yeah. Did a lot of snorkeling.
Yeah.
In the Caribbean. That was sick.
That was probably awesome.
Yeah, dude. All the ruins, the Mayan ruins. Shit. Yeah, it's beautiful out there.
Oh, that's rad.
And then I moved back up here. I tried the community college thing for a little bit, and
How old were you at this time?
like 22,
Okay.
maybe 23.
Yeah, so you had like high school to 23. You're just running around. You're like, yeah, let me go try college now.
Yeah, and I maybe like not even a full semester in, and like I go and try to take the like placement stuff, and like, what? I got to take algebra again?
Like, no,
Fuck no, dude.
I'm
No.
not
I didn't like it then. Why would you know?
I'm not doing this.
And then like, I don't know, halfway through the semester, I have a cousin who married a Canadian and was living in Saskatchewan at the time. It's like, yo, want to come up here? Yeah.
I absolutely do.
So I went up there. He was journeyman welder, like a bunch of oil rig stuff, and like in that industry, and just like did labor stuff.
Yep.
Second stint in Canada. It was super cool. Good times. And then I came back here and I got a job at Whole Foods.
Okay.
I worked at Whole Foods in Hillcrest for like 7 years altogether, dude. Whoa. And initially it was cool because it was like the tail end of like the good years of Whole Foods. And then they kind of trimmed it down and changed it, trying to package it for Amazon to buy it.
Gotcha.
And at the time it was cool because it was like the people I work with were awesome. I was playing in bands and just like,
you're just running around having a good time
tight.
living in SoCal. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Amazon takes over and it's just changed, and I was just like not digging it, just dreading going to work. And And then a good family friend, shout out to Rick Ortiz, like, yo, Law Tigers is looking for someone in San Diego. I think you should apply. I'm like, what? Law Tigers?
Like,
motorcycles? Yeah, dude. So I didn't even ride. I started riding when I was getting ready to take this job.
Okay. Damn. So you jumped full into this.
Yeah, dude.
Like 100%.
It changed my life.
Marketing manager, San Diego, one of the motorcycle meccas of the world.
Yeah.
I got this.
SoCal. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Dude, if I would have just applied to the posting in Indeed, it would just dismiss for real quick. So it was like 5 years riding experience and 3 years with marketing and a marketing degree. I'm like, I don't have any of this shit, dude.
What am
I don't have any of this shit
for right now.
Yeah. I remember getting a hold of Bill, my regional director who you met, and
Bill's the man.
I had ridden in a little bit of dirt bikes and quads and stuff, and just kind of embellishing a little bit, just to made it seem like, I
sell
rode
yourself
motorcycles.
a little bit.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
I get it.
But dude, after from that first phone call, I'm like, okay, it took a month to just kind of, is this gonna happen? And it was the longest month ever, dude. Just because now I couldn't stop thinking about this opportunity and what it's gonna mean.
So what was the opportunity presented to you? What was your idea of what you were going to be doing? What's the advertisement say? I'm guessing
marketing manager.
Okay.
It was just and I had a good idea because Rick, who referred me to it at the time, he was doing all the graphic design for Law Tigers.
Okay.
And he got that gig via the guy who had my job for 10 years prior. So Rick described, well, you kind of go to shops and you develop relationships and just kind of you get referrals. It's oh, okay.
You just
you ride motorcycles.
Spread the name out. And yeah.
And that's that's at the core, the marketing manager manual. It's that's kind of the breakdown. It's you develop relationships to where when people hear someone goes down, they just remember you because you're cool and you gave them a pen or a Post-it, at the very basic level, that's kind of what it is. And
there's so much more to it though.
Dude, of course, which is the exciting part,
right?
The number one lesson, the most valuable thing that Bill, when he hires me, I get my endorsement, we get my first bike, and just treat this as your own small business. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like that. Yeah. I don't know, dude. It just clicked and started doing laps around San Diego County, Imperial County.
They gave you the Ford van and you're
off I go, dude.
Bye, Gabe.
Dude, seriously. But it was cool because start getting around as green as can be. Just
and
started
you didn't
riding.
Have any. Not to compare it, but when I moved to San Diego, Shifter Crew been around for almost 2 years at that point. I knew folks, I knew Dustin, I knew guys. You know what I mean? So I was able to kind of come in here and be a part of the community pretty quick.
Yeah.
You didn't know anybody.
Well, no, but everything was kind of pointing in that direction, dude. The timing of it was just magnificent. I had just linked up with a buddy who, it was actually one of the first people I met when I moved back in 2003. We kind of lost touch there for a while, and we reconnect. It's oh, dude, I have a motorcycle now. What?
Right.
For real? Yeah. I have this Honda Rebel, dude, and this and that. And it's what? No way. So at this point, I haven't got in touch with Bill yet. Right? I haven't even heard from Rick that they're hiring. But I reconnect with this homie. I had gotten out of Whole Foods and I'm doing this other job with retail support. I'm still in grocery world.
Okay.
And I basically went around the whole county and just try to sell brands into
stores.
Grocery stores.
Yeah.
So I meet this dude and we hit it off. It's oh yeah, I build custom bikes. I'm what, dude? No way. My buddy's riding this Rebel. Oh yeah, I make these Honda Shadows, dude. Check it out. And bobbers and this and this. What, dude? No way. This is so cool. So I'm already kind of okay.
You're
motorcycle,
starting to
dude.
really want to get into bikes.
And right after that, this opportunity comes across. It's what? This is the path. Yeah, this is happening,
Yep.
And
that was it.
That was it, dude.
What was the first event you ever showed up at?
Fuck, I don't remember. The very first one.
Did you just show up at a bike night? I'm Gabe. A lot of
Motorcycle Monkey out in Santee. Clint August. He's a DJ, radio. And he's been an endorser for fucking years.
Yeah.
And he's got a coffee shop out in Santee, and they do bike nights every month. And in the same parking lot, there's a brewery. So I ride out in my shadow, all my gear and shit. It's like I wear my Law Tiger shirt. I'm like kind of just like
I'm
taking it all in, I'm doing it, dude. And just kind of shaking hands. I mean, I had already met Clint, and he was looking out for me, kind of introduced me to some folks. And then there's a VFW riding group that had just started. They were out of Alpine at the time.
Okay, that Alpine VFW is the coolest VFW I've ever been
It's
to.
really cool.
Oh,
man. There's some politics there with the riding group and the post.
Okay.
And it didn't end up working for them. They moved to Lemon Grove, but like the first event, they are like, "Hey, do you want to sponsor us?" kind of thing. It's like, yeah. Let's do it. Let's go have lunch and talk about this and blah blah blah. And that was kind of like the first few things that got it going.
Right.
They started their own bike night out in Alpine. They had like a Christmas party. We're making flyers. Just doing all the things that I had just learned from the manual. The basic stuff.
Yeah.
And that just got it rolling, dude.
It's just been off to the races.
Yeah, and I still work with those folks. Shout out to the VFW riders. They now have another post out in Lakeside, and the president was in in Alpine, now started his own post in Ramona.
Okay.
And he's like made it up the ranks in the VFW like for the state. It's just cool.
God, that's fucking rad.
Yeah.
And then so how people might find this interesting too, because it's Dustin's fault that I got in with Law Tigers. It's 100% LFG. It's their fault.
OG.
So how did you guys get in touch? Because winning over Dustin is like kind of a big thing, because he's like this grumpy, crotchety East County mean guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, you need to talk to him. You need to talk to him." And I'm like,
dude, I ran into Rafa a few times.
Yeah.
Like I think the first time I ran into him, we were doing the Cycle Gear bike night.
Okay.
When they still had it in Kearney Mesa. He was just one of the vendors. It's like, I've seen you guys around online. What's up? I'm Gabriel. It's I'm Rafa. It's like kind of chopped it up a little bit. Yeah, let's do something.
Like super easy to talk to,
dude.
Super approachable, chill dude. Like great.
He's the man.
Yeah.
And then I ran into him again. I don't even remember where. I was like, hey, we gotta link up.
Yeah.
And then a few months went by, and we kind of stayed in touch. And it's like, all right, let's just go grab a bite at the Friendly in North Park.
Yeah.
And then that's when I met Dustin.
Okay.
And at the time, I think Graf had just said
like Rafa's being like professional and nice and courteous, and Dustin's just like lawyers.
But it was cool. I mean, they were cool about it, you know. And at the time, like Graf had just left. They didn't have the podcast gear, and they wanted to bring back the podcast. So that was kind of what's like sparked the collaboration. So, well, dude, let's get some gear. Let's get you some gear, and we can just start there and see where it goes.
Right. I
just explained to them, I just need referrals. And that's kind of, I mean, at the end of the day, that's my job.
Right.
It's simplified because, that's the objective, but there's like, there is no, you can do it, there's just so many routes to go.
Right. No, and that's something that initially with me, and this is just full honesty here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not into co-branding. And I know you and I have had a lot of conversations about this. To me, this is kind of what, I don't want to say like won me over, but I was super opposed to like Dustin's marketing strategy with it. You know what I mean?
NASCAR.
Like,
he's got the NASCAR approach. Dustin
will straight up tell you like, he's going to be so happy that we're just spending this much time talking about his goofy ass. Just fuck you, Dustin. But Dustin will straight up be like, I'll look like NASCAR going down the road. I don't give a damn. You want to pay me? I'll put it on the side of my thing and I'll be making money. Let's go. Like, I'm not like that. It's not really my strategy. And Mr. Daniel Pearson is definitely not like that. And that's not an intended disrespect to anybody else. It's just like we've built this thing. We started with 200 T-shirts. We sold them all. We bought a pop-up. We bought more T-shirts. We sold all of those. We bought another pop-up. So like for us to put somebody else's name next to us is like, I don't want to do that. But there's other ways that we can market together. You know what I mean? It's just this one thing I don't really want it to do.
Well, I don't know who thought about that. Like,
and it works.
It works, and it's pretty clever because now you're in, right?
100%. I don't think it's a bad business idea. It's not the business idea for me.
Right. And back to that manual and how things are or where or should be. It's like, okay, well, there's other ways too. Like it shouldn't, like, we're still at the end of the day, there's still brand awareness there, and we're still building the brand and like, actualizing it in a bit, in a way, with like these new opportunities. So But you were straightforward about it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to co-brand
Yeah.
shit. It's like, okay, well,
You were literally like, well, there's other options. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. Well, let's talk about
Yeah,
those. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Because like in one of the things, this is kind of just what people like see, right? Is
Right.
somebody comes in as like Law Tigers or one of these other guys, and they're like, oh, you just started a t-shirt company. Well, you throw a rock and hit a t-shirt company. It's not very hard to find one these days.
right.
Well, you're going to need a pop-up. Let me buy you a pop-up. Half of it will say this, half of it will say
Mm-hmm.
this. And I'm like, I ain't been around very long, but I've been around long enough to have my own pop-ups. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like that doesn't appeal to me at all. You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
what else can we do? You know? And
Exactly.
That's where we've gone. Like, and it's funny. There are things that are co-branded. Law Tiger Shifter Group. There's about 22,000 bags in my
There's a lot
garage
of
right
bags, dude.
now.
You got bags
like
for-
somebody buys something, all right,
Yeah.
throw it in a bag. They're nice bags. They say Shifter Crew on one
Yeah.
side, say Law Tigers on the other side. Stuff like that. But you and I have kind of made it a thing to figure out different ways of doing this. Like, okay, well, you have a podcast. Let's run an ad on your podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to go to Utah? You got a buddy who's in with Law Tigers up in Oregon too? Shout out to Crash Inc.
Yeah.
Let's get you guys a little bit of help. Let's get you out to Utah. Go out there and be wearing the stuff and just have a good time, you know? And there's value in that. And we're not even there vending. But
right.
Crash Inc. is a very well-known brand.
Yeah.
He's up
And
there
he's a
repping
man
it,
too.
and
I
he's
don't
the
know him very well, but
man.
he's fucking rad.
Brad's like the man. But so like there's different avenues you can explore. And that's one of the things I enjoy about working with you. You're like, you're not, the rule book is there
Yeah.
and we're going to follow the rules, but we're going to look for ways, alternative methods to still promote everybody, you know?
Yes, absolutely, dude. Because it's, that rule book sets you off for year one.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't just do
You can't do it forever.
the year one shit into year two.
You have to adapt.
Because
yeah. It's like injecting new blood is kind of how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Like you're like, all right,
Old
let's get
shit,
some
new shit.
Yeah. Let's get some new ideas in here.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
What can we do?
That's been really exciting, dude. And like where we're in today, like National City, Harley Davidson now. Is it almost official? Like,
It'll be,
like a week out?
yeah. It's November 1st, I believe, is when it's really going to be a thing. That's
That's
for
coming.
Jose's to decide. But yeah, Coronado Beach Harley will be National City Harley.
Yes.
That much I can say.
There's name change, grand
Name
reopening.
change, yeah, grand reopening. There was a big conversation the other day about using it, and then it was like, no, don't use it yet. And it was like, okay. Until somebody
Coronado.
tells me I can use it,
Green light.
yeah. Like
Okay.
until somebody's like, Taylor, start saying National City. It's still going to be Coronado.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
what I was gonna say is like the relationship with like dealerships is also
Yeah.
too like. I mean, it's cool because
This is 100% you. Seriously, like you made this whole introduction. Like this is how all of this happened.
well, thank you, man. It's like it had to happen. I don't know.
I probably would have never came down here.
Right.
This is really far from my house. Like,
That was cool though. Like we're like, let's go grab lunch. It happened to be your birthday. It's like,
dude, yeah,
like,
we literally were
Pan
like,
America. I want to go ride these Pan America. I want someone who's like, let me introduce you to
introduce
Jose,
you to
dude.
Jose.
I think he might let you borrow.
yeah. Jose was like, here you go. Like,
Yeah.
still,
And now you're
still
like-
going.
Like you're like doing marketing now.
yeah, now I work here. Like now I have the shirt over here. I had to give a speech almost yesterday.
Yeah.
Like it was,
That would have been cool, dude.
yeah.
And you had the plan. You were going to start with a joke. You know,
Yeah,
good
that's how it
tactic.
is with a good speech. Like I've been the best man in a couple weddings, and the number one thing, you go up there right away, you compliment the bride, and then people clap,
Yeah.
and then you tell a joke, and usually you make the joke about the groom. It's the same
Right.
thing. Anytime you give a speech, go up there, you thank whoever threw this
It's a
event.
good model.
Round of applause for the event. Yeah, all right, everybody did good, and then you make fun of whoever's in charge of where you're at. Like the groom at a wedding is kind of.
Right.
The bride's in charge, but the groom.
But
paid
it's
for
her
everything,
day,
you know?
right?
Yeah, it's her day,
yeah,
but the
yeah.
groom can be the butt of all jokes. So
Yeah.
make fun of that guy. Everybody's gonna laugh.
Yeah.
If she laughs, you're good.
You're in.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. So yeah, I had that. I had to plan for thanking who, and then I was gonna make fun of Jose because he's the GM here.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. After that, you do. All right. Well, thanks
Yeah.
you guys for coming. You know?
Enjoy your lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
In and out.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they got some cool stuff going on down here too, man.
Yeah.
Like there's some stuff. If you had told me like 6 months ago you're gonna work for Harley, dude, I'd been like, yeah, freaking right. No,
okay.
No. And but coming down here, dude, and a lot of that is Jose's creativity and ways of figuring out how to do
Yeah.
things. But I mean, they've got a full custom shop down there now.
Yeah.
Like that you can come in here and from paint to working with Bamco, anything
yeah.
you want to do, like you can come in here and get a bike painted.
It's
Not a problem.
Innovation's always disruptive, dude.
Exactly.
And but it's also exciting.
Yeah, and it's super rad for me because we're down there. So like this is like a week ago. We got this bike down here. I'm super excited to debut it next Friday. Painted by Rude Paint. It's gonna.
That's a bike night. That's
it's
right.
gonna debut a bike night, and then it's gonna be in the West Coast Classic.
Yeah.
Which it's not gonna win, guys. Don't worry. Like, I designed the thing, so like it won't be.
It's showcasing something.
Yeah, it's showing something. But so we're in the back, and this bike is skin and bones. There's nothing on it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at Jose, and I'm like, okay, so what do you want to do? And he goes, that's your fucking job. And I was like, make sure I understood that correctly, because
Get that in paper? Can we get that in writing? Yeah.
Like, are you what? So then my next word was like, okay, Jose.
Yeah.
What's my budget? Like, because I will do some things here.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the direction it's going. Like, if guys want to come in, you want to get a full on brand new custom bike built, and you want to take it to paint, and you want every single thing on this bike touched, and you want to get custom seats done, come see me, and we'll do it. Like, I'll take you up there to meet some of the painters. We've got a couple options. Obviously, Rude Paint is one of the most talented dudes around. Like,
he's the man, too.
He's
the coolest dude.
the man. Like, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Zach. He's an amazing painter.
Yeah.
We can get him involved. You know what I mean? Like,
these are options.
These are options if you guys want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come down. Let's talk about it.
That's cool, dude. Yeah, I started work. I mean, I had heard about Zach and seen his work all over town. And when we had the giveaway here, the Softail we gave away,
that thing's sick.
You know, Zach came through, and it was cool. It was a cool campaign.
Yep. He was Zach was the first podcast I ever did.
Really?
Yeah. And it was kind of like I'd known who he was for a long time, and then a good friend of mine won one of his raffle giveaway bikes, like giveaway paint, which was kind of funny. And then we got to know each other a little bit, and we met on a Yosemite trip. And I was like, man, this dude's pretty interesting. So then when I did the podcast, I was like, do you want to come on? He was like, okay. And then he starts telling the story, and I was like, whoa, like, this dude has overcome more in his life. Like, but yeah, he's one of the guys that's involved in this. Like, it's just rad, man.
Yeah.
It's rad. It's a good time.
It's exciting, dude.
I think they're going to be disruptive here shortly in a good way.
Yeah,
like,
in the best way. Yeah.
In the best way, because they're trying to be innovative. They're trying to give people better products. They're trying to give people the product they want out of the gate, you know?
Well, I mean, it's missing, dude. It's like, and it's so goddamn competitive, dude. Yeah. Just from like coming around and like being at the different dealerships and just kind of comparing like what I experience. I mean, granted, I haven't bought a bike, or I'm not even in the market for one.
We got to get you on one of these bikes out here, dude. You're Gabe's a big chopper guy. Big chopper guy.
Sort of. It's what I gravitate towards.
Yeah.
I don't know. Out of the lineup down there, I think the Pan Am would be.
That'd be the one you like.
I think so, dude. I don't know. I don't see myself in a bagger just yet.
The Pan Ams are cool because you can do a lot of different stuff with them.
Right, and that's half the fun, dude. You know.
It serves multiple purposes, I think. Like, I'm ready for mine to get fixed, which is now being delayed by me. But like, I really like the Pan Am.
I think that might be, I don't know, if I really wanted to take on debt for years, like that'd be the way to go, I suppose.
That'd be the one.
Yeah. But just going from dealership to dealership, it's just interesting to like compare notes and like walk out. It's like, okay, well, that was interesting, or that was weird, or that was cool, you know?
Yeah, that was different, you know?
And then that's just within Harleys. And then as you work with these people and develop relationships okay, so what's the relationship with the dealer and then the motor company? And like how does it all work? You know,
a lot of
it's
times
just like
you wouldn't even know.
Just fascinating. Dude.
Like, it is literally fascinating to realize, like, to understand the difference between sales, motor clothes, and service.
Right.
Like, when you really start getting into it, and you're like, oh, there's so much more going on here than a dealership.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. Cool. I enjoy it, man. And to me, it's like this. It's such a great opportunity for me to really learn more, kind of about how a lot of these processes work that I didn't know before. You know, like what is actually going on for people to purchase a motorcycle. It's a cool experience. I'm having fun with it.
It's rad.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I gravitate towards Harleys too. There's a lot more out there, you know. I don't know, dude. And just go with what calls you, you know.
You've got a bike under the knife right now.
I do. It's in paint right now.
Okay.
Yeah, my friend Steve. Shout out to Lightning Strike Custom.
Yeah.
Is helping me out. I was like, Steve, I want to paint this thing too. It's like, but I kind of want to do it myself. Would you let me like spray and kind of show me? It's like, yeah, dude, we'll do that.
No way.
So I picked the color, kind of figured out what I wanted to do, and I think I took the tins over to his place, I don't know, like 2-3 weeks ago. And, just kind of prepped them. All right, let's go with primer and sprayed some primer. I sprayed the first coats of color.
That's cool.
Like, let me do the clear because this is kind of sticky and messy.
Matters. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool because you're getting a really hands-on like relationship kind of with your bike.
Right. And I was about to just get a rattle can and just go for it. But and I was ready to do it, but it's like, dude, I'm gonna make a mess back here. Let me see what's up with Steve, dude. He might be down.
Yeah, see if he's willing to kind of mess with me on this a little bit. And that's like, you're gonna have so much pride in that bike when it's done, dude, because you played a role in that,
Yeah,
like
and I already do, man. And like,
yeah.
And I rode it for a bit. Like I got it ready for Sturgis. It was just a 93 Softail custom. Make it kind of look like a chopper. Chop the fender struts and put like a rigid.
Yep.
I don't know. It's half the fun, dude.
You go on a couple rides.
Yeah.
And now you're out in the woods. Now you're doing real chopper guy shit.
Sorta, dude. Yeah. Breaking down mainly. I had this cool idea of I want to strip out the whole electrical harness and I want to wire it. So I'm looking online for diagrams and okay, what? Cause I didn't want spare bones, headlight, tail light. I put points ignition on there for some reason.
Just want to mix it up.
This seems let's try this.
Yeah.
Plus, dude, I started on a Shadow and very soon I was like, well, there ain't much more I can do to this because it was already kind of like a bobber or whatever. So I want to make this my own.
I really want to tear this down and mess with it.
Yeah, and I want to learn how these machines work too. So I'm like, all right, time to get a Harley. And I start shopping around for Sportsters. My buddy sent me one. It already had the long fork tubes and the stupid rabbit ear. So it's oh, dude, that's the one, dude. I need this, Now I can't stop thinking about this fucking bike. I hit the dude up and it was 2 weeks to go see it because he was busy or whatever. Go see it, ride it. And I get on it, a little test ride. And I noticed right away the tank was loose. It's okay, well, this is rattling because the tank is loose. Whatever, I could just, it's this bolt right here. I'll just tighten that shit. And I was ready to buy this thing, dude. And, make it work. I take it home and I'm riding it 2 weeks in. I was this shit ain't right, dude.
Something's wrong.
This doesn't sound okay. Turns out the crank was fucked up, dude. The rod, dude, it's just no good. It had 1/4 inch of play. I took off the front jug and it's you pull on the rod and it's literally 1/4 inch of play. It's just just devastating. Dude. It's dude, I've overpaid for this and I bought this junk, So I was a little depressed there for a few weeks, and then all right, well, I need to fix this or do something, dude. I can't just give up,
Are you out of beer? Do you want another beer?
I still got a little bit left.
All right, I'm gonna grab one real quick.
Do it. So then I'm on Facebook Marketplace and I'm looking for what am I gonna do? So I find this other Sportster, dude, that had been sitting for a long ass time. You could tell. I reached out and I get in touch with the people and finally go over to see it. He was I live in La Mesa. He was in Lemon Grove. Go over there. And right off the bat, it's oh, my buddy used to live over here. Oh, we went to Helix. We went to same whatever. Just kind of. So we walked to the back. It's well, this was my dad's bike. He passed away last year, and we just can't. My mom's having a hard time. Gotta get shit out. It's okay, well, I'm not gonna buy it until we turn it on, and I know for sure the engine's not junk. Not that I could tell much anyway, but
yeah.
So I bring a battery over. We started. It turns over. Okay, well, that's a good sign. I got him down to a price that I was comfortable with at the time, and I took it home and just made one out of those two bikes.
Okay.
And
I
ran
took them
it
apart and made a motorcycle.
Basically, I took all the cool shit from the busted one, the rabbit ears and the long forks, Basically.
We have a different definition of cool shit.
Yeah. And, dude, I rode it like that for a while. The gaskets, the whole top end was just leaky. So my buddy Brandon, shout out to Brandon Coble, Highway Welding, helped me out. We just did it in his garage, just swapped out gaskets and piston rings and shit. It's okay, this is cool. This is fucking
cool. We
cool.
got something here. Yeah.
And rode it like that. Took that one to Sturgis last year, and after riding it for a while, this needs a valve job. It was just blowing oil out of the exhaust pipes, and it's okay, well, we'd probably get a valve job done, but it'd be a good time to put a hammer kit on that I've been seeing online, and so it's kind of now that idea is just okay,
dude,
now we gotta go this way.
Where you're getting into the might as wells.
Exactly, dude. Well, I'm breaking it apart. You might as well.
Everybody knows what you're talking about that's ever worked on a bike.
Yes.
Might as well.
So I do like, okay, pull the trigger on the kit, you know, get the valves done, and time to change pistons here. And I was a little too rough with the wrist pins, I think. So I put this thing together, I break it in, and it's like, this doesn't sound great, dude. Like, and and granted, I'm already like, scarred from that first Sportster. Like, I can't, like, I'm always trying to like listen to something without knowing shit, you know. So it's like, just get uncomfortable real quick and not enjoy the ride, you know. So, like, I break it in, and like, I go change the oil. I pull the filter, and just a lot of metal flake in there. I'm like, oh, this seems like a lot, dude. So I took a video, and I kind of, you know, my job is to go around shops, and like I would ask people that I'm cool with, like, what do you think of this? And I got everything from like, that's cool, new top end, run it, dude, to like, ooh, that's a lot, dude. You better go and check your cams and blah blah. And it's like, just like in shock now, like slightly depressed again. I'm like, fuck, dude, I just spent all this money on this kit. So I just sat, and then I'm like, well, maybe it's time to get a big twin and not deal with this shit.
Yeah, just get a real bike.
Sorry. So that's what I found the Softail. This would have been like when I bought it, like last March.
Mm-hmm. You happy with it?
Yeah, and funny, dude. Like I go to this bike night. It was Graf's bike night.
Okay.
Like one of the 3 that he did. Remember? Shout out to Graf. But I meet this dude.
He said it, not me.
But I meet this dude, Jake, you know, cool mustache, super cool dude. Like, fast forward, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, and I'm like looking on Facebook Market. It's like 93 Evo Softail custom, like with the ape hangers and shit. It's like, that's good. That's a good starting point. You know, hit him up. I showed up at his house in the fucking Tiger van. It's like, we just met the other day. Oh, cool. Well, here's the bike, and just did it.
Just ran with it.
Out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Dude, that's rad, man. That's like, you have a personal relationship with your bike. You know?
Dude, yeah. As one should, I say. Yeah.
No, you really should. That's kind of like, I talk about it all the time. But like, I've been through too much shit with my bike to ever get rid of it. Put 40K on it by myself. Like, I don't know. Tore it apart in Dan's garage for no reason.
You know, and it's definitely not exclusive to Harleys, like the customization or making it your own kind of thing, and like building that, you know, with your machine. And then there's plenty of folks out there riding on stock bikes, and that's
still rad.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's like, I crack a lot of jokes, dude, and talk a lot of shit, but and chopper guys it's just an easy joke. You know what I mean?
It is.
There's like an unnecessary hatred between, like, I don't even know if it's like the performance community or just regular Harleys in general, but they're all like, fuck the chopper guys. And I don't know if the chopper guys hate everybody else too.
Dude, I don't know. Probably. I'd rather not be like. Well,
you're like, I'm not the spokesman for this, but like,
this is my Softail, dude. It's not a chopper. You're like, I don't know. Rather tread that line. Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like, dude, a chopper guy, I guess. Yeah, exactly.
But it's just rad. Like, I think it's rad that people are doing stuff with their bikes. Like, that's, if you can ride and take pride and you can tell me about it, then I'm excited about it too. You know,
well,
like,
dude,
that's what matters.
The fucking common denominator here in motorcycles is passion.
Yes.
So it's very easy to like, that's fucking cool. Tell me about it. And just like to see people's like face, just like, let me tell you about it.
Let me tell you about
know?
it. They're excited to tell you about this thing that they did.
Yeah.
That's what makes shows so fun.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of guys that are like, I'm not going to put up my bike in a show. So-and-so's going to win. I'm like, to me, it's just an opportunity.
This is a new shit.
To show off this cool thing you made.
Yeah.
You know? Like, show it to people. People can come up and ask questions. That's rad. There's guys out here that are just ridiculous with it. You know what I mean? Like, on another planet with their bikes.
Yes.
That's cool. A lot of them probably have hundreds of hours into their motorcycle.
And it all started somewhere, dude. You know, you see these badass builds, and it's like, I wonder what was their first bike, you know?
I was talking to Trevor the other day, and I was being super negative about somebody.
No way.
No, I don't think I'm negative.
I know, just joshing.
But I was being negative about somebody, and he was like, hey, man, at one point in time, it was your first bike show, too. And I was like,
you're right.
You're right, dude. I showed up one time for the first time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's easy to get, like, I don't know.
Caught up
in the shit, you know.
And there's a lot of shit, dude.
It is, dude. There's a lot. We won't get into it.
No.
There's a lot of crap
no
that's
need.
like, oh, man. We need to get, and it's funny because, like, I have Dan to kind of, like, reset me with that. Because, like, sometimes it's easy to get caught up in all this shit, dude.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, probably like once every 6 months, he'll be like, "Hey man, this is supposed to be about riding motorcycles." I'm like, "You're right.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's get back to that
Should
part.
all be fun, right?
Yeah. But it is, dude.
It
I'm having
is.
so much fun with this,
Dude.
Like,
And yeah, it should be. I think that kind of
just look what we're doing right now, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
What are we doing?
podcast.
We're having a podcast on
You
Harley
ever heard
Davidson.
about it? Yeah, I heard about it in marketing school, dude. You don't remember that?
Oh,
you remember
no,
that course?
I missed that school, I think. Like, figure it out. I don't know. That, dude, when you and I flew out to Utah last week.
Yeah,
That was rad. That was so rad.
that was that was
We were there for 16 hours.
total. And dude, like I guess broken down, a quarter of it was in the San Diego airport in the Southwest fucking terminal.
4 hours of layovers. But it was funny going out there and talking with Tony and like seeing that dude's super
Shout out to Tony Tucker,
dude.
Tucker Speed.
Not him, Jordan Jay, those guys are so rad. And it was some of the questions Tony was like, so I feel bad because I didn't have an answer, and I've never had an answer for this, and people have asked me 100 times, but he was like, where do you see Shifter Crew in 5 years? And I was like, I don't know.
Well, but do you have a 5-year plan? Like,
No.
it's that exactly. So why would you have like a plan for your,
Yeah. I feel like I should, though.
Well,
You know what I
me
mean?
too.
Like, I feel like I should, but I'm just like, so October 26th, West Coast Classic.
It's like one thing at a time, dude.
I'm
you
not
know?
looking past that right now,
I don't know. I think for certain, maybe personalities or just how people think, like that makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes maybe I just get anxiety looking too far, and like
Yeah, I
kind of removes me from I don't know.
the moment a little bit, and I think if I start getting pulled in too many directions, and this is something that like some of the OG homies have told me a lot, like don't get too much on your plate. And
Right.
I think about that with these events and stuff. Like the West Coast Classic is up next.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Like this is going to be a huge event, and I am super excited about it. And my only focus in the world right now is on that.
Is
Not,
that-
obviously
On
being a
on
father,
the
being a
shifter,
husband.
yeah,
on
yeah.
that aspect, that's
Yeah.
the only focus. For Shifter Crew, that's the only focus. I should say that. Because if I start thinking about the event that we're planning in January that we haven't announced yet,
Right.
and then I start thinking about, well, right after that is
Arizona
Arizona Bike
Bike
Week,
Week,
and then right after that is Live Fast. Well, like the quality of product that I am able to present, it's going to be worse because I'm trying to juggle all these things.
Yeah.
No, like one thing at a time here.
It's like considering the next like step or the next move require like just that consideration and locking something in just to like seamlessly move into the next thing requires enough bandwidth to like not lose track of what you're actually doing,
Right.
or the focus. Yeah, dude, I struggle with that too, just because like this role is so
And
goddamn.
I have one thing. You have a million things. Like that's not lost on me.
It's manageable because I guess I can reassess before it turns into stressful.
Right.
But dude, something's got to give, and there's a lot on our plate. But the positive thing here is that it's working.
Mm-hmm.
It's working.
Yeah.
And I know I'm making a difference. I know like the contributions to the Tiger, like to the brand. I'm just getting going, dude.
Dude, that's something you said the other day. Like,
Yeah.
There's opportunities for different stuff, and you're like, I'm just getting started. And you've made me do a full 180 turnaround. You've done some impressive things with some other companies that I've seen, and I'm like, dude, Gabe is like the little mastermind here. That is like just the puppet master.
It means a lot, dude. Like, thank you.
Like,
And it's not like it's not about me though. Like it's just about being stoked on what I'm doing and like literally just grateful of this opportunity. I'll say it again. This shit changed my life, dude.
really?
And yes,
straight up,
Yeah.
changed your life.
dude, for real.
It's power motorcycles.
Yeah, dude. Exactly, dude. Yes. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that, bro.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude. We're just having fun. Like you said, you're just getting started.
Yeah, man.
There's so much more to be done. What do we got coming up? We got West Coast Classic on the 26th.
And the bike night here is going to be important too. It's the grand reopening. I think it marks.
I think that was my job. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
So October 25th, actually, next Friday, This podcast will come out on Tuesday.
Nice. Reference your handy calendar.
I'm looking
there.
at my calendar, but I can't read from this far
Was
away.
it red, orange, or green?
It's the orange Gabe. It's the 20. I can't read from that far away. So that's the 25th, 24th, 23rd, 22nd. 22nd.
Oh, that's perfect then.
So yeah, this will come out on the 22nd. This will be enough time for people to hear about it. And the Friday night bike night that's gonna be here. Some of the stuff that they have at this dealership, I've never seen anywhere else.
The rooftop,
like the
dude.
rooftop,
The rooftop
is insane.
Yeah,
straight up insane. And that's where like a lot of the vendors are at. That's where the bike show is. There's something big in the works here for January that we haven't announced yet, but just pay attention to that. But Friday, this Friday the 25th, the bike night here, I'm kind of treating it like a little pre-party for our show.
Dude, it really is.
Like,
and it's also, Low Side's 3rd year anniversary, part of the Thunder crew.
Yeah.
And honestly, dude, just a little side note here, because coming into this year, I had this, just thinking of, okay, what's the next thing? And I probably mentioned this to you before. It's like, there was a little switch from like approaching things with the role and the role like the Law Tigers place in the industry or the community. It's like the sponsor, the kind of, it's not, I wouldn't say it's in the motorcycle industry, but it's kind of like adjacent. Like it's just close enough, but not quite in,
I would say it's in the community.
Yes, maybe the community, but not in the industry as
when
such,
I think of the industry, I think of like people
brands
that are making parts for
motorcycles.
Yeah,
me too.
And Law Tigers is definitely in the community.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Well, in that same, following that thought, like I thought, well, dude, I don't want to be the sponsor because that kind of
limits you.
Well, it makes it like kind of transactional, It's like
it makes you look like a suit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, kind of realizing that it's like, well, maybe the way to go here is just partnerships. It's like, okay, what does this mean? And as I'm kind of thinking of these things and like making the switch, like I link up with Chris and Elise from Low Side.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, guys, let's do this way. And just kind of pitching him this new shit and like partners, dude. We can be partners. I don't have to be your sponsor.
That was something you kind of told me about, and I didn't. The way my brain worked at the time, I was like, "What's he talking about?" I didn't really get it until I saw
it seems trivial, dude.
Yeah, and it seems like you're. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. It seems like you're just trying to put a different wording to it to bring people in. But then I started interacting with you and realizing, no, it really means something different. Like he's really trying to grow together.
Right.
And he's down to explore avenues to figure that out. It's not just put this thing on your pop-up,
Right. And I'm pitching it to these guys and like following by like, I don't know what that means yet, but let's kind of figure it out, dude. And
here we are, dude. Next thing you know, we're at Harley Davidson doing a podcast.
For real.
Like, here we are.
Yeah.
Well, fuck yeah, man.
It's like this, I hear, and prior to this, it's like the fake it till you make it saying.
I live by that.
Yeah, but you're not really faking it, because if there's something, just for example, like this is me though, like I'm faking it in a way, like in this role, maybe like, oh, I didn't go to fucking marketing school, so maybe that's what I'm faking, like breaking into here, but it's
okay.
I'm not changing who I am, like I'm, and you've known me for, I don't know, couple months already. It's like,
no, it's been longer than that. I don't know. I can't.
A few months, we'll say.
Yeah, we'll say a few months.
Like, there's not. I don't care to be that dude. Like, I don't want to be fake.
No, you stuck to everything.
Yeah.
Like, me and you took a trip to Utah, dude. And it didn't feel like a work trip.
No, and it very much was.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because we were getting on the plane, and the flight attendant, she was like.
Oh,
she's like, "What are you guys?" She was like, "What are you guys doing?"
Yeah,
and, like,
you guys look like trouble. What are you doing?
Yeah, and we're like,
work trip.
What's a work trip? I guess.
What's your work? I took a second. Marketing.
Like, we didn't know how to answer it because
I would have come back to you guys.
Yeah, she literally came back and asked us because we were just standing there drinking beers. Yeah. But no, it was a work trip.
Yeah, dude. Bill picked us up.
It was a very successful work trip.
We went straight to the shop. Yeah. Recorded the podcast, grabbed dinner. We were out the next morning.
Yeah, which was just wild. I was like, we're just gonna fly out to Utah.
But it's cool, dude, and I hope we can do more of that. Like, I haven't followed up with Tony, and
he messaged me right before, but we were getting ready.
Okay,
I think Jordan messaged me back.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can maybe get them out here,
dude. That needs to happen, and it was kind of just a thought, like, what if you just sent those trophies to Jace.
Mm-hmm.
AK, what's up?
Dude.
AK, jump on board.
If we can all kind of get together, the possibilities are endless. And those Texas trophies, I hate to talk about myself, but man, those were cool.
Those were fucking cool.
Those were, shout out to Dan.
Yeah,
he's
dude.
the only
behind the scenes
like,
here.
yeah, it's funny because like I do the Instagram and I run that kind of stuff because he doesn't want to, but it's his
dude. I met him when he
brainchild.
came down a couple of weeks ago, and I want to hang out with him though.
Dude,
it's like just hearing you and like getting to know you better, and like, well, no, Dan compliments this, and they make it work. It's like
100%. He's the I'm like the fairy child of Shifter Crew. I just get to like, let's go have fun, and I'm just like running around acting stupid, and then he's like the business kind of savvy part of it, you know, where there's some things that I need to do better, and I'm aware of it, but he very much so holds it down. And then his like creative process with some of this stuff is wild. Like the trophies are insane, and he just came up like nobody was doing anything like that until Dan came up with the idea.
Sick.
Like, and then it's hilarious because like at the Bay Area Throttle Fest this year, we did trophies for that, and we're working the booth, and I'm standing there like, bro, this is your baby. This is your thing. Like, go up there and present these trophies. And he's like, fuck that, I'm good. And literally, while I was up there like giving the trophies away, Dustin was standing in his booth, and he goes, yo, everybody walked away to go receive the trophies, and Dan literally sat down in the booth and kicked his feet up on the table and was just chilling. Like, finally, I don't have to talk to anybody. But yeah, he's a lot of fun to drink beer with. There's a reason we're so close. You know?
I can tell. I like that. I haven't heard the episode of the podcast, but it's like him with the bottle of tequila. All right, that should be a good one, dude. I'm gonna tune in.
It's kind of funny because like Tequila Dan is a real thing. Like
okay.
that is a known fact, and I have found out about Tequila Dan the hard way. Some of our friends, shout out to Jay Inglis, he found out about Tequila Dan the hard way, and I advised him not to, and he still did it anyway. And then there he was, fighting Tequila Dan. That guy shows up once a year. But I market him like that's every day.
Yeah.
Like I pretend like that's the wild guy you get. Like, no, that is not who Dan is on a regular basis. He'll be that. If you're looking to drink tequila and get punched in the mouth.
I'm not always Tequila Dan, but when I am.
But when I am, I'm going to headbutt you. Like that's basically what it is.
Damn.
But yeah, that's his, I think with these trophies, he's like, hey, what do you want to do? I was like, let's do a Texas State flag. He's like, sounds good. And then I never saw anything. I never heard anything. Like,
but you know, it's taken care of.
But I know it's gonna be good. You know, like it's just gonna. And there it was. Everything showed up. Like,
that's cool because it's like, I mean, the scene kind of needs that new shit. You know, kind of propelling it and where's it going forward and like the bar needs to be raised, dude. You know, and it's just.
To me, it's just a
keep it alive. Really,
appreciation, man. Like, I want to show people like. Man, you spent a lot of time on something that you worked really hard on, and I want to give you something that shows my appreciation for you sharing that time with me.
Yeah.
You built this thing that I think is so cool, and you were willing to come and hang out with us for a day. Like, here you go. You know what I mean? Like, thank you. It's kind of our way of doing that, you know?
That's sick.
And when we first decided to have a bike show at Arizona Bike Week 2 years ago, we were kind of thinking about it, and we were like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
And Dan's like, we got to have something sick. And then he just started
and
running.
It was the billet from the gate.
It was billet aluminum trophies. Like, and then those can kind of evolve in their own way too. Like, for Arizona Bike Week this past year, we did the carbon fiber borders. We did the acrylic on the inside. We did billet. And then for the Live Fast rally, like each show that we go to, we try to make it
better,
representative, not better, but representative of that show.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like, the Bay Area Throttle Fest, it's in NorCal. Let's make these things light up. Those guys will like it. You know what I mean? Like it'll be cool for like I think that group of guys would appreciate this. So that's what we did for Live Fast Rally. All machine billet aluminum.
And those were the first ones I saw. Yeah. It's like these are cool. And then I saw the Thunderdome ones. It's like, whoa,
these are cool. Yeah,
there's fucking Bamco hardware on these motherfuckers. That was sick.
ARP bolts, billet aluminum trophies. Let's go. But like my favorite ones we've ever done were the Arizona Bike Week ones this past year because like it felt like our style. Like there was pieces of those trophies that represented pieces of motorcycles to me.
Okay.
And then the ones that I'm probably most proud of though were those Live Fast ones, because those were back in June. I felt like the machine build aluminum where it's all engraved and it's all laid, it's all done. I felt like it represented like the Live Fast rally guys.
Yeah.
Like it just felt like it.
I don't know them well enough, but I can see it.
Yeah, it just
like
felt
I saw them. It's
their-
like, this makes sense.
This
yeah.
feels
now
like
that you're
their
telling
vibe,
me, yeah,
you know,
it
and
really does.
Yeah, that was how I felt about that. And so now, Dan, all the pressure's on you. Figure out what we're gonna do next, bro. Have fun. Like,
Well, the West Coast Classic. These are fucking
dude, they haven't fully been debuted yet.
no,
but they are
teasers.
going to be off the chain.
Yeah,
Shout out to Bamco Motorsports.
Ryan,
Like,
you're the man.
That guy took these things to another level.
Yeah,
I mean, straight up took him to another level.
but, you know, and this is a thought I just had. He's been so busy fucking grinding and making it happen that this is a good like check-in. You know, for him, it's like, yeah, we're busy, but check it out.
Check this out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he's super stoked because shops up there in Marietta, we're throwing a show in Temecula. He's like, this is my stomping ground. Watch that. So he's a huge sponsor of the West Coast Classic. He's got a 40-foot trailer with like a 15-foot awning on it.
It's debuting it, there, dude.
Dude, it's gonna be so sick. I met that dude. I don't know. I'm not gonna put a date into it, but I met him early on into the Bamco Motorsports days, and to see
It was like what, a year ago? It's not even.
yeah, it was Four Corners last year.
Yeah,
We were set up next to each other.
yeah.
And he was like, hey, you're the Move motherfucker guy. Like, essentially, he was like, I got one of your stickers. I was
Yeah.
like, you're the ARP guy. And we just chopped it up all day, bullshit, hang out,
Yeah.
have a good time. Like, and to watch that dude's growth in the last 12 months,
Dude.
he was already a super savvy businessman.
Yeah.
That dude knows what he's
No
doing.
slouch.
He was a finance guy before.
And
he knew
he's
what he
like,
was
what,
doing.
27 years old or something?
He's like super young.
Yeah.
To watch his growth in the community and in the industry is
Yeah.
like, damn, Ryan.
And that's
you're
one that,
killing it,
like,
kid.
we got in touch. I forget if it was through Lowside or how, but we spoke. It's like, yeah, let's, is there something here kind of thing?
Right.
And dude, we seriously spoke for months.
He was another guy that like Dustin was over, and Ryan and I are pretty good buddies. Like,
Yeah.
I'd fuck with Ryan pretty heavy. And so Dustin's like, you need to talk a lot of Tigers. You need to talk a lot of Tigers. I'm not doing that. And then, thank you, Doug. Shout out to Dweezy.
Yeah. Too easy.
Follow him on Instagram. And TikTok. Big carnivore diet guy. He's like, stop talking about me.
Yeah. Back to the show.
He's basically the young Jamie of Shift Crew
Yeah.
and LFG now.
It's all modeled after something.
Yeah. But so he's blushing over there. He doesn't want to admit it. That's the kind of interaction people want to know, though. They're going to be looking
We'll
up.
get the Dweezy cam eventually.
Exactly. Dude. I'm going to do a podcast with him one of these days.
Dude. Yeah.
And he's going to be like, this guy's an idiot. All right. Have me on as a guest, bro. What were we talking about?
Ryan.
So, yeah.
Bamberger.
I don't remember what. Oh, I was saying he was another guy because Dustin was like, you need to talk a lot of Tigers. I was like, no. And then I go over to Bamco, and he's got like Law Tigers floor mats and Law Tigers bar stools and Law Tigers manners. And I'm like, so you're on the train too, huh? And he was like, yeah, you need to call him. I'm like, no. I'm fighting this. Like, at this point, it's out of spite. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it took months to, it was a good fit. I think I'm really excited. And, going back to, he's been so goddamn busy that,
dude,
it's hard. Because, dude, we, like, every time we'd get on the phone or I go see him, it's like, ideas.
You can't text him.
No, I
You
learned
will
that.
never
I
hear
learned
back.
that.
Yeah, if I need to talk to Ryan, I call him.
Yeah.
Don't text him. He ain't answering.
But dude, it was like ideas, and we'd have like still there's a lot of unrealized potential there because like he's busy,
Yeah.
But now like with him, like, okay, West Coast Classic, we're debuting the fucking Hollard, like we're back. It's in a way, it's like we're back.
Yes.
Not that he went anywhere, but we're back.
We're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's stoked for it, and that it's gonna be so fun, dude.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to Harley Davidson as well. Like, they were super appreciative and willing to help. Like, when we called McCon up, he was like, "Okay, what can we do to help?" Like,
Yeah.
he was, and that's kind of what we were looking for, man. Like,
It's a good situation because like it'll like talking about old, new, like this is some new action.
well, and I
over
kind of
there.
like called around to some of the guys I know. I'm like, "Hey, so like, who hangs out at Temecula?"
It's like psh,
And one of my buddies was like, "Dude, they haven't done anything in so long. I don't
Yeah.
even know." You know?
And I know Makana spent some time there, I don't know, over a year ago. Like even like slightly before him and I started collabing here at Coronado. And they got it up to like where it was kind of happening, the bike night, because it kind of starts from there.
Yep.
And, he was moved to the next assignment and it fucking, just decayed.
Yeah. Just rolled.
And it's tough, dude. Like, it's more than just throwing a party because it takes a lot more than just planning a party, you know?
Especially if you're trying to kind of overcome some obstacles and like build up a reputation of a place. You have to change the mindset.
It starts in within the building, like morale and like, what's the deal here? Yeah.
Like, and McConnell's the guy that comes in, like, injects some life into that place.
Yeah.
Like that's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
West Coast Classic.
West Coast Classic, October 26th.
It's gonna be sick, dude.
Well, dude, that was just about an hour and a half.
Okay.
Appreciate you coming on, bro. This is
Yeah,
sick. We've been
thanks for
talking about
having
it
me.
forever, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
All right. Later, guys.